Hey farmers, I'm Jamie. My farm is Big Oaks Little Farm, but I also work for a nonprofit called Hope for Small Farm Sustainability, where I am the mentor for the garden project in Kaufman, Texas. It's at the Kaufman County Poor Farm. I'm making this video to show those farmers a way to start preserving the peppers because the pepper harvest is coming in. So I just wanted to show you guys one thing that you can do with peppers. And I love doing this with jalapenos. We go through a ton of pickled jalapenos in my house, but you can also do it with banana peppers. That's really good as well. So we're gonna can them up today. Okay, so the first thing I did was chop up all of these jalapenos. Actually, I will not take credit for this. My husband chopped up all of these jalapenos. It is 5.6 pounds of jalapenos in here that I got from the garden this week. So they are chopped up, and then you see they're just sitting in water. So if you put them in water overnight, it will make them stay crispier when you can them. I do not like mushy peppers. I do the same thing with cucumbers when I make pickles. So that is the first step. Okay, next I filled my jars and put them in here. So this is doing two purposes. It is getting the jars hot, but also starting the water bath to be hot, because the brine will be hot and you cannot put something hot in a room temperature jar or it will crack. So this is getting the jars just hot enough that it won't crack. So I have water in the jars so that they don't float, and then there's water down below. And you can see it's kind of simmering a little bit. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. Okay, in this pot I have the brine going, and you see it is kind of well, in person it looks orange. On the camera it looks yellow. Let me tell you what is in this. I doubled this because I'm making a lot, but there are 5 cups of distilled white vinegar, 1 cup of water, 4 teaspoons of pickling salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and what's making it this color is half a teaspoon of turmeric. I don't know why the turmeric makes a difference, but just trust me, it does. Also, it's really good for you, so just put it in there. So this, I'm heating enough to dissolve all of the salt and the sugar and the turmeric. You don't have to make it boil. You just, really the goal is to make it all dissolve. So I'm just gonna pour the water out of the jar. Bring the jar over here. I'm gonna put my 1/8 of a teaspoon of pickle crisp, and then I'm gonna fill it up with peppers. Alright, I'm just gonna kind of push these in as much as I can because I like to pack them tight. Alright, now by this point, the jar's still hot, but I can touch it. I will say on the turmeric, it stains everything that it touches. So you see how this napkin over here is all yellow. So you want to be careful what you're spilling it on. If it's anything that stains, certainly don't want to get it on your clothes. Okay, so once you have it in there, you want to try to get the air bubbles out. There's actually a tool they make for this, but I can't find mine, so I'm just using this. Now this one I filled a little bit full, so I'm going to take a little bit back out, not much. But you want to leave about 1/2 inch headspace in the top of your jar, so about 1/2 inch from the top of the jar into the base. So now I'm going to wipe that off, put my lid on. Now this part, I do use something because it is too hot to hold. All right, and then we'll just stick it back in and do the same to the next jar. Okay, so I've got all my jars filled, and in here, I have turned the heat back up high, but it had kind of stopped boiling. You want to make sure that it is submerged. See how there's water in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on just to get it to boil faster. Once it starts boiling, 20 minutes. It needs to boil for 20 minutes, and then turn the heat off, let it stop boiling, and then remove the jars and set them on the counter and just let them stay there I usually just leave them till the next day, till they're completely cool. And you'll hear them, the jar lids popping sealed. Okay, these are my extras that wouldn't fit in a canner. So what I'm doing with these, you kind of have two options. You can freeze them, but then they're gonna be more mushy, like you would wanna use them for jalapeno jelly. But if you want them crispy and pickled, I've just put them in these glass jars in water, and I'll put them in the fridge because I know I'm probably gonna be canning more peppers next week. So this will keep them good until then. One other side note, if you have chickens, you can give this to the chickens. This is all the tops and the seeds that were in the water. Jalapeno seeds are a natural kind of like a dewormer type thing for chickens. So you can give this to them and that will be great for them as well. So that's about it.